If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I post a new Tom Brady video every day.
Hey, everybody. I don't know if you heard this. Tom Brady's coming back. And
What?
the question is, how's he coming back if he technically never left by retiring without saying the word retiring in a social media post or three? Because he definitely left the arena in an Instagram/Twitter posting. A couple of days after it was leaked, he was going to retire. And who knew what plans were blown up because that news leaked out? Tom Brady was searching for the mole like No Way Out, and he found it, I think, and then he goes about his business. And his business was, I don't know what it was, making movies with Rita Moreno and figuring out what his next move was in business.
Is that still happening, by the way?
I don't know. But whatever it is, clearly wasn't lighting his fire. Whatever he was doing clearly didn't take his mind off of whatever competitive juices were flowing. And I'm sure whatever competitive juices were flowing certainly overflowed when Aaron Rodgers' news broke and Russell Wilson's news broke. And he's like, come on, man, really?
Everyone knows in order to play at the level that I play at, you have to be all in a way that is uncommon, man. Look, many people think that they work hard at their jobs, but they're really not necessarily. I don't know if they necessarily are working to the degree that the people who are the very best, the transcendent individuals, the truly transcendent individuals are working in order to put out that kind of performance which they put out. And I think Tom is one of those types of guys. And I think he still knew that he had it in him to be able to make that kind of commitment, because he knew he was still able to play at that kind of level, that would be the end result.
Every season is different, and I can just speak about playing, in my 7th or 8th season, and you get through and you feel awful. Like halfway through the season, you're telling yourself, there's no way I can play another year. I'm definitely retiring. So maybe this past season was tough for Tom with the AB thing and the way that they went out, and then he didn't feel great. So then he said, you know what, I'm good. I've done everything. I'm ready to retire. Well, then 6 weeks later, you're getting your massage work and you're getting everything. You're feeling good, and you're like, you know what? I can still do this. I just threw for how many yards? I just threw for how many touchdowns? I'm still the best. I'm coming back. I'm doing it. And then obviously, I'm sure the coaches, I'm sure Bruce Arians was calling him every day. Listen, Tom, you still got this.
Just like us. He can't figure stuff out without working through it. Just like us. He's got to, remind us after he's left that he's not gone. Never say never. We'll see how it looks in June. It took 5 weeks. And all I'm saying is thank you, man. How much more interesting is that Bucs at Cowboys game looking to you now? How about the Rams at the Bucs game? How about the Chiefs in the Bucs game? How about all those games on the Buccaneers schedule? How about the fact that the Bucs announced a few weeks ago they're wearing their creamsicle uniforms this year? We're going to see Tom and creamsicle after all. And Aaron Rodgers is coming back to Green Bay. And yeah, Russell Wilson's going over to Denver. But Tom's coming back for year 23. And that just makes it that much more interesting, does it not?
Just your mental state after a season ends. It's pretty tough when you lose the way that they lost. And I don't know how his physical body felt, but, he probably didn't feel great, and then maybe that's why he decided to walk away.
Given what this team was last year, who was one of the oldest in the NFL, and they were one of the most beat up. 2 years ago when they won the Super Bowl, they were the healthiest team in the NFL. Last year, they were one of the most beat up teams in the NFL. Even with all that, and Stephen A., again, you talked about it, they lost on the last play of the game to the team that eventually won the Super Bowl in Los Angeles Rams. And I think that, because of all those injuries, when Tom makes the statement of unfinished business, my mind goes like, what do you mean unfinished business, guy? Like, you got 7 Super Bowls. You're the greatest player ever. But the unfinished business is when this team was constructed this time last year and brought 22 starters back, it was, man, this is the team to beat. They could go undefeated. They're going to go back-to-back. And we really did not get to see that football team last year because all those guys were missed for such extended periods of time. And I think that's the unfinished business with Tom was that team that he played with last year, that wasn't the team that he thought he was a part of because of all those injuries.
I mean, the reality is that since 2016, 2017, when she gave that interview, she was revealing, that this is the man that comes home with concussions. Obviously, he had never been listed as having concussions at the time or what have you. She was basically giving us insight and putting the world on notice. Listen, y'all ain't the ones that got to live with him when his playing career is over. That would be me. And so when you looked at it from that perspective, considering who she is, what she means to him and his family, and once he said goodbye, there was no coming back because obviously he was taking her into consideration. But in the end, she is the one that has to live with them. And just like he has to live with her, she has to live with him. And she probably saw that itch that was still there. Her love and support comes shining through. She gave him the okay, and he ultimately changed his mind.
Yesterday, I was doing the dishes, okay, and I was taking them out of the dishwasher, and I put them on the wrong shelf, and my wife was like, "Those don't go there; they go here." And I was like, "Okay, I got it." Well, then later in the day, I was doing bed sheets. I was taking them out of the dryer, and the hardest sheet to fold is the fitted bed sheet, okay?
Impossible.
And then I was instructed on how to fold it and where to put it. And then I thought, I think I'm going to come back this year. I'm going to play this year. I'm going to come back. 38 years old. I'm coming back.
And after all of the 22 years and us wondering, how is his career endgame going to play out? The answer from Tom Brady is, I have no idea. I have no clue. Yeah. We always thought it was some clean break. Him strolling off into the sunset, gleaming off of his umpteenth Lombardi trophy. And I guess him handing off to Leonard Fournette in that division playoff round loss, I guess that didn't sit well with him, just like the rest of us being his last snap of his career. We were all stunned. That's what we said when he announced his retirement. Without using the word, as you pointed out, Chris, on your Twitter feed, you being Mr. 11.997 on the TB12 heat check.
Yeah, I've been telling you guys.
Well, it definitely didn't sit well with us that somebody who looks as great as he's looked at the stage of his career that he's at decided to step away. Didn't sit well with me. We were wondering what's up with that. Well, I guess so was Tom.
I never saw anything in Tom Brady's play, fellas, that said he was finished. 43 touchdowns, just 12 interceptions, throwing for over 5,300 yards last season, getting them to the divisional playoff game, coming back from a 27-3 deficit against the ultimate Super Bowl champion, Los Angeles Rams. He is far from finished. To me, he made the decision to walk away because of his family, and I think he came back because his family said, we know how miserable you are just sitting at home watching these games when you can still play at this level. We love you. Go back and play.
Do you think that they put together the kind of team that will have Orlowski on this show Friday saying the Bucs are the team to beat of the NFC?
I do. I think this roster is going to look very different, and the main reason is because Kenny Golladay, the wide receiver for the New York Giants, who scored 0 touchdowns last year, has a greater cap hit than Tom Brady will. I mean, that is shocking to me.
Michael Irvin came on this show Tuesday, Super Bowl week. He told us after he retired. He didn't like going back home that much sometimes because he was the boss where he was, and now he's being bossed at home. Is that what it was with Tom? Who knows? You know what? I don't care. He's coming back. And this is amazing.
Yeah.
And how about this? It kind of balances out the quarterback disparity between the conferences. Or it begins to try and balance it out because Russell going from the NFC to the AFC certainly made it more unbalanced. I dig it. I can't be more happy about this.
Amazing.
It's just, it's not only stuff for obviously us to talk about, but look at every single game on the Buccaneers schedule, and you tell me if that makes it much more interesting. And the fact that Tom couldn't leave under the circumstances or just couldn't leave at all. Shows he might have a little touch of the Favre in him. Who cares? Couldn't be more fantastic.
That's it for this video. I post a new Tom Brady video every day, so please like and subscribe. That way you'll always have a new Tom Brady video to watch every single day.